Conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone. Welcome to SAP S4 HANA SD certification training. In the course S4605, okay, sales processes in SAP S4 HANA sales. In this course, today we are covering this topic, data flow. Unit 6, data flow in the application. This is the topic we are covering. Okay, so data flow. The data flow, the topics that we are covering: introduction to data flow. So we'll understand what is data flow. Data transfer between sales documents. So normally when you create a sales document with reference to another document, how the data transfer happens. Create with reference item selection. So when you create a sales document with reference to another document, how to use the item selection, how it is happens. Then create with reference transfer. So total copy, how it happens. Then the usage of the completion rule, how the completion rule works, we'll see. Then document flow list, how to see the document flow list in the system, and then process flow list in the theory. So these are the topics we will be covering in the data flow. Okay, so let's start. So introduction to data flow. So here we will understand what is basically data flow. Okay, so you can create a sales document with reference to a preceding document from both the initial screen and during document processing. This process is controlled using a uniform dialog box. So earlier we discussed this. So suppose let's say you are creating a sales order. Okay. So you can create a sales order directly without any reference document. Okay. Directly using, if you recollect, VA01. Okay. Now also you can create sales order using a reference document. Okay. Next method is with reference document. With reference document. Okay, that is like quotation. If you recollect, quotation, of course T code is same, but there we use the reference document option. So if I go to the system, let's say I'm creating a sales order VA01. Okay, so you enter order type, sales org, distribution channel, division. One method is you just directly create without any reference document. Okay, another option is, if you go back, you can create with reference to a preceding document. So we will click on this button, create with reference. So here we will create using a reference document. So in this session we will understand how to create with reference document, how it works in detail, how the document flow happens. All those things we will understand in this session in detail. Okay, so when you create with reference document, the dialog box contains 6 tab pages for inquiry, quotation, order, contract, scheduling agreement, and billing document, from which you can choose. So when you create a document with reference document, create with reference, normally you will get in the reference document you will get 6 tabs: inquiry, quotation, order, contract, scheduling agreement, billing document. Okay, and the system will directly go to the in case of sales order, it is directly going to the quotation, where you enter the quotation number and then you will proceed further. So here if you see, this is the one we just discussed. When I click on create with reference, you will get this tab. Right? It will have 6 tabs. Okay. Now the default tab, the default tab card that appears when you first call up the screen has been determined by the system depending on the sales document category and the mandatory reference field. So when you use this, if you observe carefully, when I click on create with reference, this dialog box is coming, but system by default is going to quotation. Okay? That is because we are creating a sales order. The sales order category is document type category is C. So based on that, it is coming. So if I go to configuration, so let me show you configuration. SPRO, SAP reference IMG. Okay, scroll down, go to sales and distribution, sales, sales documents, sales document header. define sales document types. So here if you go, what I am giving here when I'm creating the sales order, document type OR, correct? If I'm when I'm creating the sales order in the VA01, what I am giving here, order type OR, and then I'm clicking create with reference. So as a order type OR, if you go to order type OR in the configuration, okay, double click. What is a category? C. So for the sales document category C, normally it will it will take you to the quotation directly. Suppose if I try to create inquiry, if I create inquiry VA11, sorry, if I create a quotation VA21, when I'm creating a quotation with document type QT, when if I click on create with reference, so where it is going? It is going to inquiry by default. Why? Because in the configuration, if I go to QT, click on other entry. If I go to sales document type QT, what is the document category? B. So for document category B, it will directly go to inquiry. Inquiry. And also another one is it depends upon the sales document category and the mandatory field reference field. Suppose if I go to in the configuration, if I go back to our OR, as of now, reference is not mandatory. If you see here, reference is not mandatory. Suppose if I make reference with reference to an inquiry as mandatory, suppose let's say I make it as A. Okay, now I'm saving this. Okay, continue. Now this time that six tabs dialog box will not come. Okay, if I go to VA01, now if I click on create with reference, what do you observe? Now only inquiry is coming. So now inquiry is mandatory. So that is the reason other ones are not coming here. So that's one. So the default tab which comes depends upon your sales category and the mandatory reference field. Okay, depends upon the configuration. Anyhow, don't change the configuration. So let me revert back to the original settings. I'll make this as blank. Suppose now if I make it here B with reference to quotation, if I make it B, okay, now you see if I create sales order, go back again. If I create sales order, you see if I click on create with reference, now the quotation will come. Okay, so that is depends upon the document category or the reference mandate. Okay, anyhow, I'll change it. See, I'll make the change, I'll save it. Okay, done. Okay, let's continue. Okay, now the system the system then determines the document number of the required reference document. So after this, what you have to do, once your reference the screen comes, now let me go back. Now again create with reference, sorry, I need to go back. VA01, okay, create with reference. So now here then you have to look for the quotation document. Okay, so that we will discuss. So what you can do, you can search here by sold to party 20031. This is the one which is we created, right? So if you search here, if you click on search here, it will display all the open quotations of this customer. Then from that you will select these are the quotations, open quotations as of now. Okay, so then you will search, then accordingly you will proceed. Okay, so that is the document number selection. Okay, when you choose copy, when you choose copy, the system copies the reference document completely, and if you choose item selection, you can select certain items and change the quantities before they are copied. I will show you this in a minute. Okay, so this is the one. So once you get this create with reference dialog box, and once you enter your reference document number, either you can click on copy button or you can click on item selection button. So when you click on copy button, what happens? When you click on item selection, what happens? We will discuss. Okay, first, create with reference item selection, that means this one. Okay, so what happens is you have a reference